So the au pair drama right now on TikTok is crazy. This woman had to sneak out of the hosting family's home. And I'm about to get into it.
It's 5:43 a.m. I'm sneaking out of my host family's house. It's 5:43 a.m. Oh my gosh, I'm literally shaking. That was the scariest thing ever. So I'm still sitting here at the airport. I haven't checked my bags because I couldn't check until 2.5 hours before my flight. All in time. So I'll see you when I board my flight out of this dang city. I need to get out.
Probably need a hug. Snuck out of my host family's house to get one.
How and why I had to sneak out of my au pair family's house in Italy. I just want to first say that I did not expect at all that video to do what it is doing right now. I'm like still in shock. I'm like really like don't know what is happening right now. This is gonna be multiple parts, so I'm sorry, but it has to be that way because I have a lot to say. And I want to make a disclaimer, I did pay for my entire flight there and back.
She trying to make money, which I get, because this video right here is 2 minutes and 41 seconds. I believe you can now start doing like 10 minutes. So
did pay for my entire flight there and back. They paid for nothing. And I can promise you this was not a vacation in my eyes. Like I did not spend over $1,000 to fly there and back in less than a week. And I did my research. So all y'all can zip it. But we're going to start from the very beginning. If you don't know what an au pair is, it's basically someone that goes to live with a family in another country and you either watch their kids, you do light housework, and in return you get food and board. So I met my host family on Au Pair World. This is something that I've seen a lot of people do. It's not an agency, so it's not like official. I didn't pay for anything. We didn't sign any contracts, anything like that. But that is where I met my host family. Also in these videos, we're referring to them as host mom, host dad, and host child. That's what we'll do. Because we don't need to be getting in trouble. I'm just telling my story, my experience. Okay, let's keep it going. So the host mom reached out to me. She said she liked my profile. She wanted to get to know me more, wanted to chat with me. I read over her profile, and on there were the things I would be doing. This included waking her son up, getting him changed, giving him his milk, walking him to school at 8:30, picking him up from school at 6, so he was in school all day long, and then heating up his dinner, and then I clean up after dinner. I also had Friday afternoons and weekends off. So fast forward a little bit, we FaceTimed twice. We got along very well. She was very talkative, seemed very nice, and I was really excited. I had let her know I was interested in coming to live with them. They agreed. They said that we'd be a good fit. So I then booked my flight to Italy and left for Italy 2 weeks later. So it was quick. It was quick. They wanted an au pair as soon as possible. So I gave my work like 3 weeks notice. Mind you, remember we have no contracts. I paid for my flight. So I was supposed to stay 85 days total. So about 3 months. Yeah, so to make this more organized and explain everything, I think I'm gonna break it down pretty much day by day. And I was there for 4 total days. I'm posting part 2 right away, so go check that out and you can see my first day in Italy. Here's the highly
to you au pairs out there that are really about that life, do you all do background checks on the host family? I would be on edge moving in with someone in a foreign country that I do not know just to be watching their kids. And then also, ma'am, like if you was only there for 4 days, it's good you left because they deserve better service, but then you also left them up the creek because you snuck out their house early in the morning. And if your life was not in danger or anything like that, and it was just you not agreeing with the host family, I feel like you should have gave them a heads up that you were leaving so they could prepare and get somebody to replace you in your stead, because they do have jobs. Okay, so they found the host family job description, what she's supposed to be doing. Dear au pair, are you ready to come to Milan? We are modern and welcoming family looking for an au pair to join us and help with our son, Ettore. He is now 3.5 years old and is cheerful, lively child who loves to play and explore the world around him. I am friendly Francis, the mother, and I work as a strategic project manager in a food company. So good food is always an important part of our home. My husband, Roberto, is often away on weekdays due to his military commitments. So having an extra pair of hands, especially in the house in the afternoon and evenings, will be very helpful. We are an active family who enjoys sports and traveling. Our house is located in the heart of Milan, just a 15-minute walk from the Duomo, with easy access to shops, restaurants, and public transportation. Public transport, Saturday and Sunday will be your free day, allowing you plenty of time to explore the city or travel around Italy. Your main responsibilities during the weekdays will be accompany a tour to school in the morning, picking him up at 6 p.m., except Friday at 4 p.m., playing with him in the afternoon until dinner, assisting with his dinner, bath time, and bedtime routine. In addition to childcare, we ask for you to help with some light daily household tasks. In the morning, tidying up the beds, opening the windows, and washing the breakfast dishes. In the evening, helping cleaning up kitchen after dinner, giving Ettore his bath and putting him to bed. Please note that we have a cleaning lady who comes once a week for deep cleaning, so your task will mainly be about keeping things tidy on a daily basis. At your discretion, you will have the opportunity to join us on several amazing holidays for sure. In August, we will be in Salento for 2 to 3 weeks, enjoying the sea and summer life in southern Italy. In September, we will be in Portofino, our 5-tier. Trips will be a great opportunity to experience some of the most beautiful places in Italy while continuing to spend time with Ettore in a relaxed vacation setting. We previously hosted an au pair from New Zealand, and it was an amazing experience. She became part of our family, and we truly enjoyed the culture exchange. We are now looking forward to welcoming a new au pair who is kind, responsible, and enthusiastic about spending time with Ettore. We love to hear from you. If you are interested, please send us a message with a brief introduction about yourself, your experience with children, and what you are looking for in an au pair experience. We'd be happy to arrange a video call to get to know each other better and discuss all the details. Looking forward to meeting you soon. Best regards, Francesca and Roberto.
Part 2 of how and why I had to sneak out of my au pair family's house in Italy. Go check out part 1 because that explains a little bit more of the backstory. So I arrived in Italy Wednesday, April 2nd at 12 p.m. My host mom met me at the airport, picked me up, and we went back to their house. At this point, everything was good. I was still so excited to be there. We got home, I unpacked everything, and then we sat down to eat lunch. So this is the first red flag. At lunch, she starts ranting to me about her job. Apparently, she had been moved to a different position that was lower. I honestly don't know. It was hard for me to understand a lot of the times. I just know that she was not happy. She got moved to a different position. But that was the first red flag. She already started putting her problems, just ranting to me. And I had just got there. So after lunch, I settle in a little more, and then my host mom tells me to go with the host dad to the store so that I can get some food for breakfast and lunches for me. This is the second problem. This was a huge problem because the host dad spoke no English at all. He spoke as much English as I speak Italian, which is none. I can say ciao. This was one of the main problems because they needed an au pair because the host dad is gone Monday through Thursday. He travels for his job, so he's gone Monday through Thursday. I was expecting the host mom to be teaching me these things, but instead I go to the store with the host dad. It's quite awkward because it's just silent. He can't speak to me, I can't communicate to him. When we're in the store, it's hard to communicate. We're just using Google Translate for everything. But we go to the store, we get the things we needed, and we get back home. When we got home, the host mom wasn't there. I guess she had left to go to work. So it was me and the host dad again. And one of my jobs is picking up the host child from school. Instead of showing me how to use public transport or the way to walk to get to his school, he took the car, which, okay, it's the first day. I'm okay with that. I didn't think anything of it, honestly, but as the story goes on, you'll see the problem. When we got home, I played with the host child. We were playing blocks. The host dad tried to show me how to heat up his dinner, which it was very difficult because, again, there's a language barrier and the stoves, the oven, everything is different in a different country. After the host child eats, I'm still playing with him. Host mom said she gets off of work 7:30, 8 at the latest, and we'd eat when she gets home, and she'd be cooking dinner for us every night. But about 9 o'clock, the host mom gets home from work. She doesn't seem happy about work and about her situation there. But I still didn't pick up these cues until a few days later. We eat dinner that, mind you, the host dad cooked for us, not the host mom. And then the host mom shows me what I need to be doing after dinner, put away the dishes, clean the pots and the pans, wipe down the counters. None of this was an issue because I knew this was what I would be doing. After I did everything, I thought I was good to go to bed. It was pretty late at this point, but I said I was going to bed and she told me I needed to come bathe the host child. Which, one thing about me, I'm not good with confrontation and I am not good at like sticking up for myself. So that was one of the issues as well, and that's on me. So I did it. I gave the host boy a bath. She like showed me how to do it, although I know how to bathe a child. She was just very particular about everything. Like everything had to be done her way, or just like you might as well just not even do it. So that was my first day. I finally went to bed. Part 3 should be up now, so go check.
First and foremost, you went to another country and you expected for them to be able to speak English. That's a red flag because that makes no sense. Like, you're going over there to experience their culture. Now, some Italians may be fluent in English, but you shouldn't expect that from them. And that's something that you should have asked the mother when you guys had a Zoom conference with each other. The father should have also been present in those Zoom calls, even though she said he wouldn't be there a lot. And then also, I can understand like you wanting them to show you the route to how they get to the school or whatever on your first day. So you could have Googled the directions to his school from the house and figured out what you needed to take, or you could have discussed it with them that night, what buses you should get on to get to his school. So some of this stuff is on you. And then on top of that, you said the husband cooked instead of the host mom. Why does it matter? Did you eat? Yay or nay? Yay? Okay, then shut up. And he's like, oh, I had to bathe him before I went to bed. Okay, then they tell you that in the little thing that you was gonna have to give him his baths. Stop going over to these other countries being entitled.
Highly requested story time on how and why I had to sneak out of my au pair family's house in Italy. Thursday, April 3rd, my first full day in Italy. I woke up, got ready, went to the kitchen so that I could learn my morning tasks, what I'm supposed to be doing. I got up around 8 and the host dad and the host child come out into the kitchen. The host dad gives him his milk. Again, this is the problem. The host mom is the only one that speaks English here. The host dad speaks as much English as I speak Italian, which is none. The host child doesn't speak English either. The host dad is—
You are in Italy, you special individual. They speak Italian. That is their primary language. English is secondary over there. And of course, the baby doesn't speak English. You just take out your Google Translate.
That is trying to show me how to do these things, but there's this big language barrier here. So this is why I just didn't understand why she couldn't have been helping me. The host dad got him his milk, didn't show me how to heat it up, didn't show me how much I'm giving him, nothing like that. And the host mom was still sleeping. The host mom ended up getting up at around 8:20. By the time we were ready to leave to take him to school, it was late and we had to take the car again, which I still needed to learn how to use the public transport or to walk the directions to get there. So we drive, take him to school. It's awkward, it's hard to communicate, but I do it. And then when I returned home, I decided to take a little nap. I was still jet lagged a little bit. So I took about a 2-hour nap and I wake up to the host mom texting me, "Hi Ella, where are you?" So I get out of bed, I go into the kitchen and she's there. Also, I didn't understand this because I thought she was supposed to be at work. Like, the things she says just aren't adding up. So she tells me that I should go walk around. So I'm like, okay, let me just get out. So I make myself some lunch and then I head out. This was my first full day in Milan. I did a vlog on it, so you can go look at that. You can see that I'm very happy. I was so happy when I was out of the house. I loved exploring the city I was in and I loved meeting new people, but when I was in the house I felt like trapped. I felt uncomfortable. It was just not what I was expecting at all. So when I got home, again, we drove to pick up the boy and I was with the host dad again because the host mom had gone to work later. Don't know why. We got home.
Why are you so caught up on her work schedule? Why is that relevant to you? They're married. It's okay for the father to wake up, hand a boy over to you. Worry about yourself. You was able to explore the city on your own, but you can explore your way to the Google map to find out how to get to that boy school on your own foot.
The host dad tried again to show me how to make his dinner. And then after he eats, we go into the living room, hang out. And the host dad goes to pick up the host mom from work. This is like 8:30 at this point. They get back at like after 9:30. He doesn't have a far commute to work, so I was very confused about that part. Like, where did they go? Why did they leave me alone with him so long? when like I'm just learning and I barely learned anything because of this language barrier. I had to give him a bath again that night, which is fine. I would have done it and been happy doing it if it was what she had said I would be doing, but instead she said I would be cleaning up after dinner while she gives him a bath because she wants to spend time with him because she's at work all day. That was day 2, but my first full day. Day 3 and 4 are really when I just couldn't take it anymore. So come back for day.
Ain't no freaking way. You are there to watch the boy. I'm really trying to figure out what exactly did you think you were going to be doing at their house. Their instructions were pretty clear. Sometimes you were going to have to give the little boy a bath. Sometimes you were going to be cleaning up. You're upset because he left you to babysit a child that you were supposed to be babysitting so he could pick up his wife. While they were gone for an extended period of time is really none of your business. Why she went to work later on in the day is really none of your business. Long as they don't interfere on your off days, I would not care. The little boy is in school for most of the day, so you really don't have to be bothered with him until like at night. And then also, she has her comments off because she was getting torn up in the comment section.
Friday, April 4th. So this morning went exactly the same as the previous morning, except this morning I stood up for myself a little bit. I asked if we could please take public transport so I could learn how to do it, because Monday I would have been doing it by myself. So again, the host dad and I take the host child to school, but we use public transport. So he's trying to show me how to use public transport. We're just kind of looking at his phone because, again, the language barrier. If you go back in my other videos, you know that the number one problem is that the host mom isn't helping me at all, and she's the only one that speaks English. So we get back home. I had the day to myself. This was the day that I met up with the other girls, and it was super fun. I vlogged that day as well. At around 2 o'clock, I text the host mom asking what time I should be home so that we can go pick up the host child, and she replies to me saying that the host dad's gonna pick him up and I didn't need to come home because, again, normally I would have my Friday afternoons off. I hang out with my friends a little longer and then I walk home. When I get home, I decided to call my parents. No one was home at that point. I called my dad and mom for the first time since I had been in Italy. I was very emotional. I got off the phone. I texted the host mom asking what time she'd be home, just because we'd been having dinner so late and I wasn't expecting that at all. Just not as late as we were. We were having dinner like 9:30, 10, 10:30 every night, when she said we'd be having dinner 7:38. I texted her about 6 p.m. asking when she'd be home. She said about 10 minutes. So I get in the shower, I shower. At this point, the host dad and the host child were home. So I grab my Kindle and I go out to the couch and I hang out with the host child. He's playing, I'm reading. The host dad makes the host child dinner, gives him a bath, and then he's like still playing. At this point, it's like 9 p.m. The host mom is still not home. This is the first instance when my red flag alert immediately started going off. So she comes home a little bit after 9 p.m. I was still reading on the couch, hanging out with the host child. She comes into the living room and proceeds to raise her voice at me. She was not happy that I was sitting there reading. She asked me why the host dad was doing everything, why I wasn't helping him cook dinner, why I didn't bathe him, why I wasn't playing with him, why I wasn't cleaning up his toys, all of these things. And I was just honestly confused. I apologized because that's just what I do. I apologized. I said, I'm sorry, this is maybe a miscommunication. I thought that I had off. You had told me I didn't have to go pick him up from school. I'm sorry. And she kind of just said, you need to be paying attention, and then just walked away. Anywho, that night we eat dinner. I cleaned up, and then we had a tablecloth on the table that we didn't have previously. So I asked her. She was sitting on the couch. Table's here. Couch, table. I asked her what I can do with the tablecloth, and she tells me to ask the host dad. I just couldn't understand why she couldn't have just told me what to do with the tablecloth and why I had to go ask the host dad when the host dad doesn't speak English. Oh my gosh. So that was so frustrating for me. Saturday was the day that I just realized I needed to leave. I was not comfortable at all. There's a lot to say about Saturday, so
you did right. You did the best thing, and that was for you go home. You could have been paying attention, and you could have also asked the host dad if he needed help, like in the kitchen. You were there. You're supposed to be. It's your responsibility to take care of the child. You should have been paying attention to how the husband was preparing the food. And no, you don't have to talk. No, you didn't need to use Google Translate. Just pay attention to what he's doing, and then you get into the schedule of you doing it yourself. And he could have spoken up. Maybe he used her because she spoke English.
Time on why and how I had to sneak out of my au pair family's house in Italy. Saturday, April 5th. This day was the day that broke me. I just want to remind everyone that Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday were my days off. I chose to spend it with them that day. We were going to Portofino. They were going to show me around Portofino. So I woke up at 8:15, got ready for the day, and was out and ready to leave by 9. The night before, the host mom had told me we were leaving no later than 9 as it is a 2-hour drive to Portofino and we want to get there early. So she walks out of her room at a little past 9 in her pajamas. She had just gotten out of bed. And honestly, this like really annoyed me because I was tired too. She had me up late the last night. She slept in and I was ready at 9. Okay. I didn't say anything. Of course I didn't. She got ready. I dressed the host child and we left. Got focaccia for lunch, which was really good. This was at about 12. Afterwards, we went to a beach and we sat there for about 3 to 4 hours. So after the beach, we got up, we walked around. This was about 5 p.m. And then host mom decided she wanted to stop at another pretty town. We went there, we walked around a lot. I will say I was being left with the host child a lot. He's a slow walker, so they were walking way in front of me. And I wasn't gonna just leave the child, so I was walking with him, either holding his hand, or at times I would pick him up and we'd run to catch up with them. But they were just kind of like ignoring me and just leaving me with him. Again, it was my day off, but I chose to be there with them. So the next part is where everything just changed for me and I realized I just needed to get out of there. We leave at around 8 p.m. The host dad pulls the car around. I get in the car. The host mom puts the host child in the seat and we get honked at. Because we're just sitting in the middle of the road, duh. I would honk too. And immediately, the host mom snaps at me. She gets into the car, raises her voice at me again, saying that I wasn't paying attention, I haven't been helping at all today, and I'm not like learning. First off, I was pushing the stroller at least half that day. I held his hand, I carried him. I stayed back with him while they were way ahead of us. So I was paying attention. You were not paying attention. Just snaps at me and I just wasn't understanding. But I was just like, okay. I just kept saying okay. There was no point in arguing with her. So at this point, I decided I wanted to leave. I changed my flight to the next day. I do want to say I didn't tell them that I wanted to leave for multiple reasons. One, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't necessarily feel safe. Two, the host dad's job, I'm not gonna say a lot of details. It was something in a field that like made me uncomfortable and kind of made me a little bit scared. And I didn't know how she would react. I decided that I just needed to get out of the house. I felt super trapped. On the car ride back home, we get stuck in massive standstill traffic. I was exhausted, so I fall asleep in the car. And then the host mom wakes me up and she turns around, she raises her voice again and starts telling me that I need to be reading to the host child. I need to be teaching him English, interacting with him, and again paying attention. At this point,
you should have just straight up told her, this my off day, I'm not teaching him nothing.
Again, I was just so tired. I had a massive headache. I just wanted to get out of there. By the time I got home, it was around 11:20. That night is the night that I packed everything back up. And then in the morning, as y'all saw, I left. That is why I left. I did feel very uncomfortable there. I felt trapped. I had a really bad gut feeling. I just needed to get out. And that's my reasoning to why I had to leave. I want to thank everyone that has been supportive of me and choosing to leave, to trust my gut. That was my story, my experience. I hope you all enjoyed.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. She would have yelled at me one too many times. The first one, she would have found out I'm not the one or the two. See, your first mistake was hanging out with them because that was your off day. You supposed to be teaching him English, ma'am. I'm not a miracle worker. You need to hire a tutor. I mean, you see that this young lady here, she's lacking some common sense. And you thought that this was the person that was going to be teaching your child English? Y'all just had a horrible miscommunication all around about what you was supposed to be doing and what was expected of you and what was expected of them. Because the most important thing when you have these au pairs or you have a nanny is that you respect their time. If they're supposed to be off on certain days, they are off. They do not have to do anything with your children. It'll be nice, but they don't have to. And then also, when you go out to these other countries pretending to be an au pair, you have to understand that they're not going to be speaking English. There's going to be language barriers there. You need to be a problem solver, conflict resolution. Those are the skills that you need.
I kind of just want to clear a few things up because I have a lot of people coming at me right now. So first, I just wanted to say, when I posted that video, I had a little over 1,000 followers. I did not expect anything to come from it, maybe get 500 views, 1,000 views, and it's now almost 17 million views. And when I posted that video, like, it has no context. There's nothing Like, I don't say why I'm sneaking out. I don't say what's happening. Like, I'm literally sneaking out and then in the airport for the whole video. So there's like nothing, I don't know why it took off like it has. But so many people have just made up their own story in their heads. And then when they asked for a story time and I told my story time, it didn't match up with their story in their head. And so they were mad about it. So I'm sorry that you guys made up a story in your head and it didn't match up with what actually happened. But I wasn't going to lie and say something that didn't happen. I told you what happened. I told you I was uncomfortable and didn't feel safe, so that's why I left. So I just wanted to clear that up. I also just want to say that I have had a job ever since I've been old enough to have a job. And then before that, I was a babysitter. I've never not had a job until now. So I think I'm just taking a little bit of a break. But I do like a job for like the routine aspect, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if I end up getting a little part-time job because I do love a good routine. Also say that I did send the host mom a text as soon as I got to the airport and as soon as I felt safe. I sent her a text. I explained that I didn't appreciate the way she was talking to me. I didn't feel comfortable in the house. Thank you to everyone that's been so nice and supportive of me. That really means a lot. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell somebody to not leave a situation that makes them feel unsafe. But I also think that you have to be realistic in your expectations in certain environments. Me personally, I would not be an au pair. I don't want to be in that particular situation. I want to be in my own house or my own hotel when I visit someplace. I don't know whether the site that she was talking about did background checks, if they do reviews on the hosting family, so you can kind of get an idea of who you might be dealing with. Because the crazy thing of getting these au pairs offline is you never know what you're going to be getting. You don't know anything about the host family and they don't know anything about you. So you all are trying to figure each other out. Some people present themselves as one way, but then when you meet them, they're completely different. And then also that woman is used to controlling her house and having things set up the way she wants it to be set up. And so she's looking at you, instead of you being an au pair, she's looking at you as a live-in nanny, and she has expectations of you that she probably shouldn't have after a certain period of time. It's a bought lesson, man. And I hope everything works out for you.